Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to a live and interactive session. This is our online training session under the umbrella theme of ICT for Teaching and Learning of Science. This session or this training program is organized by Central Institute of Educational Technology NCERT New Delhi. This is going to be the live session and today we are in day 2. On day 2, the sub-theme that we have taken up is audio and video resources for the teaching and learning of science. Now, since this session is live and interactive, you can participate in the session. So, please take down our phone number, which is 8800440559. You are watching this live session of ours on PME Vidya channels from 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. So apart from making a call to us, you can always go to our live chat box that is there on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. We are streaming live on the same. You can put in your questions there. Any suggestions or feedback is also welcome. Last but not the least, we also have a dedicated email ID for you, which is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. Since it is a training program, there is going to be an assessment activity as well, which we told you about yesterday. And of course, you can register yourself, you can participate, and you can attend the assessment. If you score more than 70%, you will be granted a certificate. So all the details are there on our CIET website. We request you to kindly visit our website for the same. Now, yesterday on day 1, we talked about ICT for Teaching and Learning of Science, where we discussed policy perspectives, need and scope. Today, on day 2, we will be talking about audio and video resources for the teaching and learning of science. We all know that we are integrating technology with routine teaching. When it comes to sciences, we have also recommendations from National Education Policy 2020, and we have concepts like AR, VR, that is augmented reality, virtual reality. We also have the concept of virtual labs because we want to make teaching and learning of sciences interesting and a joyful experience for both the teachers and the learners. So, of course, ICT is playing a major role in the same. It has made teaching and learning quite customized and personalized, and audio video resources are there to help us. They not only help children, normal children, but they are very helpful for the children who are specially abled, because here we talk about inclusivity and equity in education. We also encourage blended learning. So to know more about it, we are joined by our expert today. So let me introduce him to all of you. We are joined by Dr. Arun Pratap Shikarwar. Sir is Associate Professor from Department of Education in Science and Mathematics, NCERT, New Delhi. Sir, namaskar and welcome to the session.
Namaste.
And so we all know that how ICT is playing a major role in the teaching and learning of sciences, and today we are going to talk about audio video resources. We are sitting on a platform which is of course a video resource or audio video resource for our viewers and audiences and students alike. So before you start your presentation, I request you to kindly give us a brief overview of what exactly we are looking forward to in the session today.
Okay, it's a good question, as the title of today's presentation is about audio and video resources for effective teaching and learning of science. So the same we are doing here. So the recording itself is part of this lecture. So we are using effective audio and video like this video, either in the online way or in the offline way. Somebody would be listening the audio or the video to understand this. Being from the science background, this presentation is about the more science. Science subject is like more experience and knowledge, more reproducibility, and science is more like streamlined science. So it is unlike other subjects like arts and history where there is no experimentation is needed. So probably science need better conjointal memory engram or memory formation to understand some phenomena, and because it is the ultimately to understand the world more effectively by the science. So to compensate the education scenario or delivery of education information through the ICT based or audio visual or by video, I can say, or by through help of audio, I mean this is the best way to teach multiple learners at a time. So that's make the beauty of this this phenomena in today's world as a compensatory for for increasing this mass availability to the learners
Absolutely.
or the students.
CIET is also involved in the production of audio and video resources for the students pan-India and of course worldwide as well. So I now sir request you to kindly go ahead with your presentation, because I have some questions for you also, which I'll be asking by the end of the presentation.
Okay, good. So I'll go through my formal presentation. So, okay, can I have my slide?
Sure, sir. We can have the PPT on the screen. Yes.
Okay. So I'm one of the faculty here in NCERT in the Department of Education in Science and Mathematics. I'm basically from the neurosciences background, where I did my postdoctoral and my doctoral degree. So I will be mixing up some information that is I've been learning in the neurosciences with the education. Now, if I go to the IKS, Indian Knowledge System, then there is a Sanskrit proverb that Shraddhavan Lavate Jnanam. I mean, that means a person who is devoted and engaged attains knowledge. It means to get a knowledge, multiple ways of information to should be, entangled upon. Similarly, Benjamin Franklin has said, "Tell me, I forget; teach me, I remember; involve me, and I learn." And similarly, the Chinese proverb, it is also having the same meaning. When I hear it, I forget it. When I see it, I remember it. And when I do it, I know it. It means more than one thing or more than one senses are involved. That time this information converted into the knowledge, and knowledge is ultimately the needed in the education. So in our educational scenario, not only in the school education but non-formal education like day-to-day life, we have three things always: learn, unlearn and relearn. It means we have to unlearn many things. Like after COVID, we have learned a lot, unlearn it, because that time sad and gloomy situation. So it means human mind keep unlearning so that one can relearn it. Although brain has a vast capacity of 2.5 petabytes of information, brain is huge and huge, like 25 lakh GB equivalents of the human memory, but still we have to unlearn and relearn. So this is the the procedure that happens during the childhood, like like age 5 to 18 in the school education, higher education, and later on also in our life. So the world of audio video platform or ICT based, it's under the disruptive technology. Now disruptive technology, I mean every 2 or 3 years new technology keep coming up. I must mention Gordon Moore's principle. He was from Intel co-founder. He says that every 2 or 3 years the circuits, IC circuit becomes smaller and the speed increases up. And unfortunately last year only Gordon Moore has passed away. And this technology is related to the disruptive technology, how the cameras are shortening up, how the new version of software and hardware keep coming. And this image intentionally I have copied, and I got it from the Copilot of Microsoft. This is again new version, new technology now, even no need of even art, and then computer can tell. Now coming to the education. So education is nothing but body of knowledge acquired while being educated. It means body of knowledge keep filled up day by day, and then we have a huge information in the human brain that can give alternative meanings of any phenomena, and that gives a sign of that you are educated or having knowledge based person. Commission for Scientific and Technical Technology, that is our the government of India's side, that says audiovisual means drabya, shrab and drush, I mean जो देख पाते हैं और सुनते हैं. Similarly, Webster Dictionary, audiovisual aids is defined as training or education material directed at both the sense of hearing and the sense of sight. So sense of sight is with the eyes, I will tell you a little bit, and hearing with the oculometer or ear, and films, recording, photographs, etc. used in the classroom or library collection like that. Similarly, Cambridge Dictionary explained audio visual involves the use of recorded pictures, sound, and the equipment that produces it. Okay, this is the way. Now coming to the audio visual aids means, so what is visual? Visual means in neurobiology it is ocular memory or ocular sense. So we see anything by two ways. One is the physical part, here the transduction of the photons happens in the eye, and then occipital lobe, which lies in the the backside part of our brain, that is occipital lobe. So this gives the understanding whatever we see with the eye. Similarly, audio or oculomotor, that is the hearing capability, that is done by the ear, and this way audiovisual aids are called instructional material. I mean, they help in the hearing and visual meaning in together, and all such aids which endeavor to make the knowledge clear to us through our senses called audiovisual aids or ICT based or information communication technology. Okay. Now coming to the next, audiovisual methods refers to both sound and picture in the form of PPT slides, whatever I am taking help right now, and video, like overall this video, and then recorded speech in video presentation. Audiovisual aids are being used increasingly and widely to make teaching learning process more effective. That is true. It is a like ICT based education could have some demarcation or some disadvantages where there is no internet, but wherever there is internet and where there is hardware availability, that time it is more effective. Now way back to 1968, the first education policy of our country, even in the Kothari Commission, they have explained teaching aids. Maybe because that time there was no internet and hardly laptop and computer, it was not there. So teaching aids means that time photographs were made and sound recordings were used. And even now in recent education policy of 2020, there's separate chapter, I will explain it later, where we have to use the educational technology for educating a large number of students, because our country is having like up to 26 crore, up to 140 crore as a school education students, and later on several crore in the higher education. So these resources offer dynamic ways to present complex scientific concepts, making them more engaging, accessible and easier. Engaging, accessible and easier to understand, is the good point for ICT based model. Okay. Audiovisual aids are tools or mechanics used to facilitate the learning experiences of the individual and to make it more realistic and dynamic. Realistic because once you see with the eye, you feel as if you are doing or involved in reality to that situation. Yes. In our education system, doing is more important than reading. I admit that book reading is good habit, but book reading slightly takes more time, and in an audio video format, in a little time you can grasp more. So there are advantages and disadvantages of everything. So just recently, like last few decades, only internet and video based technology has come up. Otherwise, since the human evolution and human consciousness coming up with the education since BC, everything was in the written format or in the word of mouth way of transfer of information and education. That's why like as we have seen in the Gurukul system. Okay. So theoretical, oral and uninteresting topics can be made more natural, entertaining and useful by the use of teaching aids, and this happens in the children, and there are a lot of scientific evidence and scientific articles where the children gives better output when they are using teaching aids. It is true that audio visual aids sharpen the sense of sight and hearing and avenues of learning. Jan Amos Comenius in Bavak in 16th century, who was a Czech philosopher, is called father of modern education. He also emphasized that pictures and diagrams, handmade diagrams, because that time there was no printer or so, that gives better understanding. So this was known since like more than 3 centuries. And not only 68 education policy, but in 1986 and recent NEP 2020 has great emphasis over teaching aids and use of technology. Now this is the just snapshot from national education policy, where the one chapter is totally dedicated for this use of technology for education, and it talks about how we can provide and articulate the directions for research and innovation with the use of ICT, and how we can percolate our reach to millions and millions of students who are still not in the main education scenario so far. So what are the audio visual teaching aids? Here you can see radio, gramophones, linguaphone, tape recorder. However, many things by year 2024 it is not there, because now, as I told you, disruptive technologies have bypass these older things. Visual aids used to be charts, pictures, models, maps, projector. But now audio visual, like dual mode, that is related to the TV, drama, or sound motion films, or it could be YouTube, that is one of the well known platform, and other things those have taken. So instead of like audio and video separately, now video format is more important. Now coming to the audio visual teaching aids, there are three major categories: either just alone audio, that is given to the ear, just like podcast or audio recorded format, but that is more in the storytelling format, where the person is being forced that somebody should understand and grasp the the scenario in the imaginations. Then visual teaching aids like models, pictures, as I told in the previous slide, and audio visual. Audio visual is the better way, because it's having mix of both the things together, like LCD project, film projector, TV, computer. TV and computer are more important, because this is the ultimate, like especially computer and mobile phone we are using nowadays, and multimedia also. Now little bit about neurobiology I will talk about, related to audio visual based education. So the human body is having on the anterior part a human brain that is like 1.4 kg a mass that lies in the cranium here, and maybe the nature is so precisely have given the propensity of all the major senses, primary senses, near the brain, so that the sensory information goes quickly or instantaneously to the human brain, so that the human as a like survival effect maximize करने के लिए this happen. So you can see ear, nose, eyes, and tongue, that is for the taste, and touch receptor. So especially like lips are more important for that. However, touch receptor lies throughout the body, but majorly they are close to the brain, so that better and quick and instantaneous effect may come up for increasing the survival aspect of the human brain. Other than 5 primary senses, there are secondary senses also. These are called anteroreceptors, like pH check in the stomach. It could be proprioceptors, that is related to the space, like whatever you feel in the aeroplane while going up and down, even though nothing is visible, but you feel the effect like that. Each sensory system consists of group of sensory cell types. So these are neural part, that is the dendritic ends rather, that perceive this information, transduce, and send it to the neural circuitry language, because brain is having neurons, and neuron does only know only one language, that is signal transduction by the action potential. So this happens. The senses of humans play a crucial role in the touching and learning process, as they help students engage with, understand, and retain information. Each sense contributes in a unique way to the way students experience learning. Now this is just various parts of the human brain that relate to the conceptualization or are making information in the knowledge domain. So this is the frontal lobe, this is parietal, this is occipital. Occipital lobe is having visual cortex related to the vision, and temporal lobe, those are here bilaterally, which are related to the ear, and that gives the interpretation and language comprehension of whatever we listen. And cerebellum is necessary for the body balance, however, but they all work together in tandem, and then complete human brain gives the complete repertoire of a happy and healthy person in one way. So these are the neural cells related to hearing, vision, smell, and taste that gives their effect in the human body. Why audio and visual memories are stronger and eminent for long-term memory? Now, as you know that in education we need long-term memory, because so that we can write exam, we can give various competitive exams later on, and it also shapen up our better human psyche or human personality later on. So anything should be reaching to the long-term memory. That is the better way of education, or the good thing behind the education. So what happens when more than one primary senses are involved in any activity while reading or grasping new information, that time there are more chances that hippocampus of the brain gives and transfer to the long term memory. So, this happens like audio and visual memories are often stronger because they engage multiple senses together and areas of the brain. It engages multiple senses, so it gives different engram. Engram is a like one piece of information in our brain lies in one engram, and engram means it could be involving several of the neurons together. So, we keep increasing the number of engrams. Those are billions and trillions of engram. It means whatever I know, whatever I make a sense, I am making my presentation now, it is the mix and resultant of several engram of my brain in that way. Similarly, it relates to the brain activation, brain stimuli, and brain activation happens when you are stimulated and making and amenable to accept or grasp new information. It leads to the contextual learning. So, audio and visual cues provide context and environmental details that help with memory recalling better. For example, visual scene or familiar voice can trigger associated memories, like if you remember and you listen a video of Subhash Chandra Bose, and you still can remember and you can think of several other memories associated with Subhash Chandra Bose if you just listen one sound. And if you see the photo of any great person like Gautam Buddha, if I say, then I can think of about meditative and lot of things. Similarly, when two or more types of stimuli combined, they activate and connect multiple brain regions and strengthening memory encoding and retrieval. Emotional connection, emotions are very important. Once you are not involved with the emotions, or you are having like thirst or like appetite for getting a like any award or prize, you cannot perform better in that way. So, emotional connection are very important. Emotions should be hit, okay, in that way. And for emotions part, limbic system of the brain is very important, where the hippocampus, amygdala and cingulate gyrus, there are several other factors that lead to the emotional brain. Now, importance of audio visual aids. So, they are better for better learning, retention, recall, thinking, reasoning, activity and interest. These aids or ICT aids are like they lead to the involvement of why, how, when, where. Like it imbibes a lot of divergent thinking, and when divergent thinking happens, that time you comes to the knowledge domain and you become more stronger. Audiovisual ways are important in education system for teaching learning process and make it easier and interesting. Audiovisual aids are the best tool for making teaching effective and the best dissemination of the knowledge. Okay. So, audiovisual aids are used to improve teaching, that is to increase the correctness, clarity, effectiveness or of the ideas and skill being transferred. So, in this way like we see lot of advantages. Now, I should not forget but to take this Dell's-Cohn's experience. This is part of the neuropsychology and also in the educational technology. This Edges Dell scientist, he made this cone shape of pyramid, and it says that whatever we read, hardly 10% gets converted to the memory. Whatever we hear, it is better. So, hearing or oculomotor memories are better for the retention. Similarly, whatever we see, there are more chances of 30%. But if you do something like, then that time chances are 90%, you will not forget and rather you will convert into the long term memory. So, if you add up these senses, not singularity but in multiple or a conglomeration, that time there are more chances. And in the Sanskrit verse also I was telling you, when you are involved in activity, the better chances of memory going into the long term memory and better retention. So, it represents the more concrete the learning experiences are, the more senses are involved, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching and feeling, I mean all that. Okay. Now, recently the COVID-19 that was bad experience to be all over the globe, and that has drastically changed the aspect of ICT in the post COVID period. And the ICT, that the role and need of ICT is now on and the peak, it's on the zenith, it's highest ever so far. Maybe internet is now at the par more available after the geo revolution of 2016. We are having lot of internet connectivity and ICT mode has come up at the fore. So, the recent COVID-19 has boosted the use of ICT applications in favor of free flow of information. Despite the danger of threat to people's privacy, ICT mediated platforms have become the backbone of education system in our country and also in abroad, especially in Africa country where still the poverty is so prevalent. COVID-19 pandemic and the digital migration of education process have led to an evident increase in the use of ICT in the school education and higher education as well as, and even in jobs you can say. Poor connectivity of internet and resources like having camera or laptop, this is one negative aspect for this in the post COVID. But now the big data analysis is very necessary, like now repository are going up, like in our system also now number of videos are millions and millions. So, how to keep those videos intact, how we can fill up the gaps, how can fill up with the latest information, that is the big challenge now. Either we should have upgraded videos or we should have upgraded knowledge, but we cannot change it. And privacy is also one of the important aspect. Okay, so with multiple ways of adoption, application, utilization of information communication technology platforms, we find growing interest in the use of such approaches in information collection, analysis and management. And big data analysis now itself is a big lucrative job, I can say. In higher education, even lot of degrees are given in the big data analysis, and that is because of rise in the ICT. The material is increasing day by day a lot. Now, what is the difference between conventional type of education scenario and audiovisual based digital education or whatever ICT based? So, now let me have this comparative view. So, in conventional education there is a need of physical classroom or face to face interaction is necessary. However, in the digital education we use online platform, virtual classroom. Schedule here it is the fixed, like school timings are fixed, but in digital education there is no need of even in the timing. At the ease of your available time you can go ahead. Physical textbooks, notebooks are necessary in the conventional way. Here digital textbooks, e-books and video, audio format are important. Here social interaction is so good in the conventional, but in online education this is the negative aspect. We hardly interact with each other. Here assessment, in-person exams, quizzes are possible, but in digital education online quizzes, assignment and instant feedback is possible. Accessibility, it is so digital education is available pan India or pan globe, I can say, at any place. Like somebody sitting in India can do a degree from abroad, but in conventional education one should be in the brick wall classroom there, and here technological intervention is very low, what in digital at the high. And similarly in digital education it is suited for the self motivated and flexible learner, but it is not so in the conventional education. Now, coming to modalities of audio video based ICT mode of education, our country is having SWAYAM portal, similarly NPTEL and IIT Chennai, and a lot of central universities for higher education, and our Central Institute of Education Technology, CIET of NCERT, and several other platforms. They are having a lot of online platform for enhancement of the education for the students. I mean, they can compensate their information not only from the school but also from here, these platforms. So, this also online courses and massive open online courses, MOOCs is one of them. So, in India it is SWAYAM, Coursera is from US, and edX. There are several other platforms related to the online courses where the millions of students at one time can do. Even this course is also done in that same way. There are various organizations and institutions like NPTEL, MOOCit, IIT-BX and SWAYAM. These are from the government side, and Coursera, edX, Udemy. Even I have done several courses in my professional enhancement of degrees with this these platforms. Now similarly, one TED Ed that is also very famous. TED Ed is related to lot of each and every topic lies there, no matter it's science, but like management, arts and everything. Virtual labs is also one of the important. It is very important for the science students per se, because in many places, especially in the rural areas, laboratory facilities and infrastructure are not so prominently available, where the virtual labs are important. Like it could be based in a TV screen or mobile phone. One can do the experiment, or one can do the simulation in the virtual lab. And government is coming up, and Government of India has initiated several projects over making virtual labs. And the good thing is interactive whiteboards. This is also one of the audio visual based ICT mode of education, podcast and audio lectures, webinars and live streaming. This one itself is one of the category here, webinar and live streaming for the knowledge enhancement in the students. And PME Vidya, DTS TV channels are like more than 30 channels are there with the government. Online collaboration tools like Google Classroom is one of them, which can give at the same time collaborative information and project creation. Similarly, educational games and simulations, there is on Google Play Store, and so we can say there are a lot of such games, especially maths I have seen with the children. They learn quickly and with the games, and this is called gamification. I will come to that. Now there are several initiatives of our department, CIET in NCERT, PME Vidya, E-Pathshala, Diksha, it could be E-Jadui Pitara and Prahas. There are several platforms for online education delivery, and our NCERT CIET website itself having lot of these resources of ICT based education. Now coming to the properties of audiovisual based e-learning, it is purely online. Blended learning is possible here, like maybe theory can be given in a school and practical aspect in a location, or vice versa. Synchronous versus asynchronous, because digital based education can be possible in asynchronous mode, like not necessary to watch live, instructor led group, self study, it's computer based, and there are several advantages. Now coming to the gamification, or how we can make game. This is more important for physics and I can say maths also. Even in biology we can create the games, like being a biologist, if I say like you have to isolate DNA, then at least a tissue is given. So with the finger you can change, you can take the solution, you put it, the concentration you can write down, and then you can in a game formation you can do this RNA DNA extraction kind of thing. Physics experiments can be done, and then you can put the strict level. It could be like easy mode, medium or strict mode, and then we can quantify it, like how much quickly somebody can do it. So a lot of things can be simulated in a better way, and it is related to the motivation and engagement, interactive learning. It may lead to the personalized learning, like any good student can be quick learner over the games rather than the not so intelligent that may need to the teacher involvement. Social learning, critical thinking and problem solving, it is emphasized in the NEP also, and such gamification of science projects can lead to the critical thinking and progress. Now this is my last slide, and positive impact of gamification can lead to the memory. This is called cognitive reserve in neurosciences. So cognitive reserve means human brain has ultimate power. If you have an interest, you can arisen up the probability, and new engram and new knowledge can be done. So this is ultimately the neuroplasticity of the brain, that we keep arising up and then we keep learning. So happy learning and teaching to the students and teachers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. What I have gathered from this entire presentation of yours is that the use of audio-video resources for teaching of science or any branch or any other subject that is under science is compulsory. Because what I believe that concepts of science can be made more natural, interesting, and more useful with the use of these teaching aids, and of course, to be precise, these audio video resources. And as you talked about memories, so we can comfortably say that they sharpen our senses, and they also open up more avenues of learning for us. So now, sir, based on this presentation of yours, I have a few questions that I would like to ask on behalf of all our viewers as well. That we all know that of course, these days we're talking about virtual labs, and these labs are not just for the subject of sciences but also for languages, mathematics, etc. But how do you think that teaching and learning is different and peculiar if we talk about, especially in the context of science, and how it is like so different in comparison to other subjects, especially history and literature?
Look, history and literature is like, I can say, it doesn't need experimentation. Whatever is there, so there. It is not, it's concrete, but in science it is more empirical. Science is the upgraded versions of knowledge time to time. It may need repetition, it may need experimentation. Science may need lot of things for critical thinking also. Like unlike history, whatever has happened, so happened. I mean, you can understand the various meanings of that, but you cannot change and recapitulate the situation. But in science we need repetition. Now science, to do science is like we are from a developing country. We don't have unlimited resources in our schools, institutions everywhere. I was emphasizing the propensity, how with the help of this ICT and technology based things, this practical part can be compensated to the mass or like to so many millions of other students by the technology. That I was emphasizing.
Right.
Sure.
So, of course, National Education Policy 2020 is also focusing on enhancing creative skills and analytical skills of the students. We also talk about problem solving skills. And today, since our topic is about audio and video resources for teaching and learning of science, sir, can you please elaborate on those on that concept of yours, which you explained, of course, in your presentation as well, like primary senses and sensory organ system, that is so important in this phenomenon, because the quotations that you started in the beginning were really catchy, because when you are engaged in something, you kind of remember it for a longer period of time, and we are talking about immersive technologies today.
Yes. See, there are 5 primary senses I was telling, there are several secondary and tertiary also. And the meaning was when you use more than one sense at a time. Like I would prefer studying any new thing by just writing down. Once you write down, that time your motor function of finger and thumb works. Your eyes are settled on the paper, and sometimes even you forget in the room whether somebody has come when you are writing something. So great people always try to write. It means your more than one senses should work up there. Similarly, when you watch a video, in a quick time you can learn and you can grasp any concept very quickly. However, book writing is a bit slow. Book writing is important, but book reading, but during the book reading, a person should humanize the things, like one should imagine as if it's a movie, a theater or drama happening in that way. And book reading also need longer period of time. It cannot be done in just 2 minutes now and 2 minutes tomorrow, then the sequence will change. But here the videos, and right now the technology, ICT based education, in little time you can convey more masses in pay. I'm not increasing, I'm not advocating that everyone should use it, but whosoever is having the technology of ICT, one should use it for the betterment of education.
Absolutely. ICT is a boon when it comes to connecting the last mile learner with the education system and also making education accessible to all. So already we are moving from traditional way of teaching and learning. From chalk and duster, we are moving towards virtual labs and AR and VR. And we are living in a post-pandemic era where things have changed drastically, because of course the concepts of science cannot be understood by mere reading and by drawing a diagram on blackboard. It requires much more exploration and depth. You need to observe the outcomes and record your data and record of course all the observations, and you have to perform experiments, and most of the concepts they're abstract in nature, so of course you cannot understand them like that. But what about this impact of ICT you think is there now, especially after the COVID, how it has impacted the entire system of education delivery?
I see in two ways, it just so dual that in 2020, probably it was 29th of July when NEP 2020 was released by the government of India, and at the same time it was start of the COVID-19 pandemic. During COVID-19 pandemic, there were lockdowns, there were school colleges closed for several months and year also. That time this was the ICT based education only that was connecting the people over this in a era of social distancing. So we were together over the digital platform. Later on, it made easy, and also NEP 2020 has emphasized the use of ICT in education, and ICT is one of them. We are catering that lot of platforms from here for education delivery to mass public. So because now internet is so cheaper and cheaper day by day it is happening, and now we can say that economically also, and lot of governments have distributed even tablets and computers to the those toppers of the classes, I can say, or intelligent students. So the outreach is increasing day by day, and people are not hesitant to use technology. At least schools will be there, no doubt. Schools have their own importance, but at the school we can decrease some timing and increase the digital platform of ICT based education. This way we can reduce the even so many things like transporting the students, and study hours can be reduced, and something can be compensated by digital education, or for maybe, who knows, in near future for experiment purpose, maybe students are being called to the school, but theory they can do on their own at their own pace by such kind of MOOCs and online platforms. So see, we should be ready for the in today's world of disruptive technology, where each and everything are coming up and displaces the previously existing technologies and system. Yes. So lot of changes will occur. It's 2024 now. 24 will come, and who knows, after 10 years or so, newer technology will be there. Absolutely. Even the government of India has allowed a digital university in higher education, so that will not be existing in a brick wall building, I can say. And online, like you can say, IGNOU University itself, they cater education to millions of students without any physical building. So who knows, in the schools also there will be such kind of modalities coming up.
Of course, with government's initiatives like Digital India, we are moving towards the use of ICT in our daily life, let alone education. And I believe that ICT, as you mentioned, it's a very cost-effective mode of education delivery. And today's scenarios are changing because India is a huge country with a lot of diversity. We have children, living in far-flung areas of the country where even going to school regularly is a challenge. And here, with the help of ICT, you not just get learning at a doorstep, but it is very customized and personalized as per your time, convenience, space, and your ability to attain the difficulty level. Now, sir, how do you think that the conventional education system is different from the present day ICT education that is laden with a lot of audio and video mediums and resources?
Well, see, conventional education was there when the population was low, where there was no flood of information, there was no more number of people, more technology, then more number of sensory information, or a lot of paraphernalia in the world. Now imagine a situation 100 of years back. That time there was no flood of information. So this school based education, or even Gurukul or system, there was I think very precise and exquisite repertoire of education that was transferred from one generation to another. Right. Now as the population increases, so the ideas increases, and there is lot of diversity in the country, in the whole world. Now there should be no hesitation to use the ICT based education, and this modern day education, it's also like we are not developed country like like we cannot be having surplus of amount or so. So it is better way to compensate little bit, this use of ICT blended with the conventional education system to achieve our major goals of NEP 2020,
Right.
or to increase the gross enrollment ratio of the students, and to achieve complete literacy in the country as early as possible.
Absolutely.
So it is the need of the hour right now.
Indeed, it is the need of the hour, and we all know that the human memory, it's not only relevant to just teaching learning process, but in our everyday life as well. So could you please elaborate something about human memory, like how generally students face this problem that they are not really with presentations or vivas, they have problem in collating the data in their minds and presenting it, so what they can do to excel in their examinations?
Oh yes, see, memory, we memorize from the very first day of our life, when we recognize the faces of mother and nearby, in the school education, higher education, and throughout our life. It means we are the student throughout life. We have to keep learning. That's what I was explaining: learn, unlearn, and relearn. We have to unlearn the bad habit, or which is not necessary or not contemporary as per the need, and then just like now maybe wired phone is unlearner situation when the mobile has come up in that way. Okay, so we keep doing this. Now memory formation happens every time. So our human brain has unlimited capacity. We keep learning. Now memory is three types: sensory memory, then short term memory, and then long term memory. From short term memory to long term memory formation, hippocampus, that is one a little organ in the midbrain, it is related to the memory consolidation. So whatever in the daytime we learn, we come across, we undergo the exposure, like I am having my shooting here, this everything gets registered in the sensory memory. During our sleep time, because sleep is very necessary for health also, that is given, that time in the REM, that is rapid eye movement, and the way of non-REM and REM sleep, that time this hippocampus send these memory inputs of the long experiences in long term foci, and it makes separate engram to each and every memory. This way our memory gets increased up day by day. It's like a basket of memory, it keep changing. Now what those memories which are related to the associated memories or emotional memories, like your first love, first kiss, or maybe your first slap, or your first day fight in the school, these are more emotional, where you are involved with your emotions. Recently Gukis, he got the world chess championship, he is now world champion. In a happiness mode he was crying, and there were tears. This was emotional outburst. So emotional outburst happens with the even such kind of situation where no one can forget.
Absolutely.
And in the very first attempt, such emotional memories gets transferred to the long term memory. Even no need of even going through the repetitive behavior through the hippocampus.
True.
So, and more than one senses, when they are involved in one of the function, that time also more chances of memory formation. So this way we should keep memory are as best as possible. There are a lot of neuroprotective phytomedicines, like almond is one of them. There are a lot of neurobics exercises or brain exercises or brain gymming kind of thing that can also increase your capacity to build up more memory formation. So many things can be explained later on in the next video.
Of course, I'm sure we can have proper training program on it, how to actually how we can sharpen your memory. And sir, we are left with just 2 more minutes. So very quickly, I would like to question you on this beautiful aspect of emotional memories, that how do you think they're important in teaching learning, especially in today's tech-driven world? So very quickly.
Look, in the classroom, like as far as being a teacher, I can tell I never use my 100% time in just teaching. I motivate them, I give them some challenges, and I invoke questions during the classroom. So the same way a teacher should do. It should not be a monologue from teacher to student. Should be rather two-way communications. So a teacher should keep asking the question, should keep floating questions, and should keep asking the previous, like 5-10 minutes before whatever a teacher has given, that one. And also each phenomena should be related to the nearby objects or nearby phenomena or nearby area. Like you cannot teach some topic by giving example that somebody has never come across with the human senses, okay, like you have never been there. So everything should be associated with the some emotional part. It could be related to like motivating the students or giving, even like many teachers in the primary schools I have seen, they keep giving toffee, like if you become class topper then I will give the toffee, and that toffee of 1 rupee or so can make wonder. It can stimulate a student for far betterment.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this way emotional part is very important. It should be there in the teaching and learning.
Absolutely, it can do wonders for the student, and how motivating it is. And of course, I have received so many chocolates from my teachers, that is for sure. I still remember those beautiful incidents. So thank you so much, Dr. Arun, for your wonderful contribution to the session. Thank you once again. And it was our session for day 2, where we talked about audio and video resources for the teaching and learning of science under the umbrella theme of ICT for teaching and learning of science. So I'm closing this session over here, but before I leave the studio, here is an important announcement for all of you regarding the upcoming competition. The All India Children's Educational E-Content Competition is back for the year 2024-25. We invite teachers, teacher educators, students and independent educational e-content creators to submit their best e-content for the competition. For further details and the registration form, please visit the activities section of our official website www.ciet.ncert.gov.in or scan the QR code on this screen. The final date for submission is December 31st, 2024. And now it's time for us to have a quick look at the schedule. What's coming ahead and what you have already watched. Yes, so here is a list of all the programs that you have watched just now. In a short while from now, you can watch our session Sahyog, where we will talk about the impact of sustainable consumption on environment. With this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you, but you stay tuned for more educational programs on our different platforms. Namaskar.